and the thrift store. I look great. For $12, I can look brilliant. Oh,
yeah.
Paws
What's
up, my
up?
cats and kittens. Don't say what's up.
What's up?
Don't say what's
down.
up. You can't say what's up.
I can't say what's down?
You signed a piece of paper that said, I can't say what's up.
Oh, that's what it said?
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
You
so.
don't, do
no.
you? No,
No,
you
who
never read that
does?
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's start the show.
What's
Are you
up?
ready?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And then quit saying what's up. All right, pause. You say pause up.
Pause up.
Pause up, my cats and kittens. You are tuned into Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. That's that part, and which means that we are on the intranets. We have bolted ourselves into the 21st century, and now we're on the internet. Of course, we've always been on the internet.
Yeah.
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 Even back in the old days,
Yeah.
which we'll be talking about later. And subsequently, as usual, my cats and kittens, we are broadcasting live and in color in the Mighty Vic, the Visitor Information Center here in beautiful downtown Denton, 111 Hickory Street, as usual. And it's a pretty nice night out. It's kind of beautiful,
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
cool.
lovely. The lights aren't on yet, so we can't see people walking back and forth. And thank God nobody's playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
I know.
That'd be
run
unfortunate.
Straight over.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody does that anymore.
No, I heard a lot of people were starting to delete that
They're
off their
just
phones. It's
getting rid
just
of it.
Yeah, they're done.
You didn't do it.
No, I did not. I knew some people who did it, and that was the most they had been outside in years, for sure.
Gonna blow off the dust and chase an imaginary creature
Yep.
on my phone
Yep.
around until I drop into an open
Yeah.
manhole or get run over.
I
or
was in
something.
the San Francisco Bay Park last summer, and I remember I was like having this awesome meditative moment. You know, like the fog was just clearing over the bridge, and
Really?
it was
Wow.
like in the whole area of it's just like a giant grassy field too. Why are you that's nerd?
Whoa. What are you doing?
But I was like trying to have this cool moment but there's like 6,000 people playing Pokemon Go behind me.
Oh, great.
So, you know, it was a nice picture moment, but
And then the
people could
lovely
actually
background
see,
music came. And,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
was-
Just
what
popped up
was
out of nowhere.
that?
I don't know. Clearly Jake didn't catch them all. So
Apparently our producer has lost a marble and regain
it's
yourself.
all right.
There he goes.
I mean, I had the cards when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like 15, 20 years ago. to be
Did you
honest with
really?
Yeah.
Well,
that was cool back then.
I don't even remember 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
By the way,
It's
my
hard.
cats and kittens, you are probably wondering, or maybe not, who is this lovely young lady sitting next to Bone Doggie? This is the lovely and talented Melissa Ratley. Yay. And she's been from here. She's been from Dallas. She's been from around from everywhere. You are a singer-songwriter. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yes, sir.
And you're still doing that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
As of today, yes.
As of today.
Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow may be different.
Yeah, that's
Especially
true.
after this broadcast. It may
Whew.
shoot that right in the foot.
I know.
I know. Just take it straight out.
I feel like I might have already shot down my prospects with the Pokemon theme song playing in the background, but I can't blame you for that one. It's
no,
fine.
you can't. No, you can't, because I remained remarkably benign
Yeah.
for that part of the conversation.
probably the
But
best thing,
I knew
yeah.
you'd get in trouble for it.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
We'll go to Pokemon. You and I, my dear, my dove, we go pretty far back.
You do. Almost
We
5
do.
years now.
Yeah. Oh, it's got to be longer than that.
5, 6 years, I want to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5
it
or 6
was
years.
right when I graduated from UNT back in 2013.
You went to school?
I know.
Holy cow. What'd you study in school?
I left the great university with a degree in general studies.
I was gonna say, what education did you throw
Yes.
away so that you could become a musician?
I got to the end of the 4th year and was going, I don't want to be here for much longer. And
General
the track,
studies?
Well, I was on like the journalism track, but I just
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
wanting to stay for 3 or 4 more years, however long that would have taken.
yeah.
So I walked into an advisor's office and said, what's going to get me out in a year? And she said, well, general studies, you've already got half of it done.
Right.
Let's do it.
So you got your general studies, you got your points in like math and English and
Yeah, it was journalism, marketing, and political science.
That
my
was it,
three,
really?
my 3 tiers. It's a
Oh,
3-tiered degree. You have to take 4 upper level classes in 3 different majors.
I didn't have a clue about that because I went to an art school.
Yeah.
So yeah, you did math and English and
Math was never my strong suit. I could still only count to 4.
most
yeah.
musicians are like that. It's wrong side of the brain. Wrong side of the brain. Now keyboard players will be able to do, algebra.
Don't they can count to like 27 or something like that.
Yes.
It's like,
Unless you're Harry Parch, and then you can count to 47, and that's an in joke that I will never tell you about.
I think it's probably best that way.
No, that's my Nerdville right now. Is I'm studying a guy named Harry Parch, and Harry Parch, in I guess the 30s or the 40s, decided that the 12-note octave was not enough, and so he discovered and put into motion demitones and come up with a 47-note octave.
Wow.
And then he had to create the instruments to play it on.
Yeah.
So he made this whole room full of knickknacks.
So Mariah Carey didn't come up with all those.
No.
Okay. All right.
Mariah Carey wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot China person. I swear.
Probably not.
Yeah, because it's just so far out there.
Okay.
And that's where I spend a lot of my time anyway. It's just very far out there. That's where I met you.
Yeah, that's very true.
Very far out.
Yeah, I think it was at the Abbey Underground. Although Jake would probably take some credit trying to say he discovered who I was.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it was. I feel like it might have been a tie, but I want to give the credit to you.
Wait a minute. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And as well, everybody should.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether I deserve it or not.
Yeah, I think you deserve it, though.
Oh, that's cool. Well, we don't go back as far as banter.
Yeah, that was 2012, 2013, something like that. Yeah.
Yes, around in there.
It was right about that time. Yeah. Well, it wasn't when the stage was at the front. It was in the stages in the back.
In the back.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And that was the whole feng shui of the room was just bizarre.
It definitely it felt more different than any other cafe that I had ever been in, for sure. But it made it feel more homey, though. It felt like you were walking into another living room.
Yeah.
And just hanging out with your friends.
Well, it's kind of
and
basically the way
play.
it was set up.
Yeah.
And then I remember that they took the stage and they moved it to the front of the building and put you in the window. He put all of us in the window so that when you were actually performing, people would walk by and see the back of your head as you were singing to everybody. Yeah. And then they took irony of irony. They took the stage and put it back in the back of the room.
So it flipped back and forth. I didn't know that.
It flipped back and forth. I don't know if you saw it when they closed the place.
I did. Yes, yeah. I was.
You were part of the 2-week thing.
I played on the last day. Yeah, and I remember it was a really emotional day for me.
You closed the place down. Did
I know.
You, Ratley?
God, well, it wouldn't be the first time.
We're not going to do this again. I swear to God.
I know. Yeah, it was sad. I mean, Ellen definitely gave me some of my first legs.
Yes,
here for sure.
She was very instrumental in doing that for a lot of us.
She saw that I was just kind of starting out, and just wanted to really get my music out there. I didn't have much at the time, but I wanted to be able to have a stage to sing.
Right.
So me and also a guy named Alex Christensen ran into his parents not too long ago, actually. Yeah. We started kind of singing duets together, and actually we go back to, we had a Spanish class together in college.
Really?
And didn't even realize it until like one open mic. I feel like I've seen you before. I can't remember Spanish. That's it. Yeah.
We were sober. That was why.
I know. Well, it was Friday at 3 o'clock when that class happened. So
maybe sober.
Maybe
sober.
Debatable.
Yeah,
but either way, banter was pretty instrumental in building up confidence for me as a musician, even when I had different incarnations of bands.
Yeah.
When I was playing there from 1.0 to 3.0.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she was very instrumental in helping me gain confidence in this town, along with a lot of other people.
Yes.
So I have to give her a lot of credit for that, and Bob as well. So
Bob,
I still remember
Ralph.
him bobbing literally behind the soundboard.
Yes, we've all used him in that capacity. It's Bob Ralph from
that place.
Tiny Couch
Yes.
Productions, and and Alex apparently Tayara is helping Bob on some productions and stuff like that. And apparently they've got something major planned for next year, because we all sat down for the videos and we did those. And you'll probably see one or two of them, my cats and kittens, before the show's over. And they're really nice. They're good quality. It was fun to do.
It really
sitting in the
was.
living room. It's kind of a neat concept.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Bob wants to make it bigger, and him and Alex are scheming for after the first of the year.
That's good. That's good. He caught me right before I went on tour. It was like 2 days before I went on tour, and then 2 days before I played at the Kessler.
Right.
So it just happened to have that little block of time in between me cleaning out vehicles and packing all of my things into 3 different areas.
Getting stuff out from the last tour.
I know.
Oh my
from
God.
The last, yeah.
That was lunch? Good Lord. I'm
yeah.
sure it looked better when I bought it.
Yeah, in between just a smattering of gigs all weekend, and then leaving for Kansas City, Missouri within the next week. So.
Well, where'd you play in Kansas City?
I played at the Westport Saloon.
How lovely.
I know.
I used to hang around Westport when I was a teenager because that's where I grew up.
Really?
Westport was where the hippies hung out.
Okay, I can see it.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
And they had my first real my first real exposure to the underground press was a tabloid rag called the Westport Trucker.
Okay.
And the Westport Trucker was basically the hippie magazine of that area and the South Kansas City area, down in there in the plaza and all of that, and that's where I basically got interested in graphic design.
Okay.
Was checking that out.
I can see that.
But
It's a cool
the music
area.
scene, they covered the underground music scene that was up there, and I haven't been up there for a few years, but I heard that they redid the area. It's beautiful up there now.
Yeah, I loved it, and I wish I had more than basically 8 hours to spend there. I did get to go to the World War I museum beforehand.
Yes.
Which was really, I had no idea it was there.
Isn't that very
actually. I was
cool
gonna
with the
go
big
to
monolith and all of that?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
going to go to the Jazz Museum, but then I saw that, and then the car just kind of turned.
Yeah.
That way, it cut across a couple
I can't
lanes.
believe you got to see that. I've always loved that museum.
Oh my God! I had no idea it
very cool.
existed. I've always
Yeah.
loved reading about World War I history, just because there's not so much about it anymore.
Yeah.
Number one, it's so rare to find anything anymore about it, and it's really it was the most gruesome war we've ever been in.
It was amazing. It changed the entire face of the planet.
It did.
World War II was actually it was caused by World War I,
Yeah.
which, my dove, actually started in 1830s.
Yeah, I can believe it.
World War I started in the 1830s because it was basically a fight of, it was the last kingdom fight for the monarchies.
Oh yeah, from
you know.
Austria-Hungary and
over
Russia.
here you had the rockers, and over here you had the mods, and then there was the guys that did the blues and all of that stuff, and
Yeah.
they just hated each other, and so it just kind of come from there.
Yeah, I know. We could keep talking about history all night.
We could,
Jeez, I
and
know.
just destroy it.
Yeah.
We could just literally destroy history at this point.
Wow, yeah, and Jake would be watching the whole time.
He would. He'd be, out of those beady eyes of his.
Yeah, I know.
That's lovely.
I call him Shiny Head too because he's got a shiny forehead. You can see it
that
from about a
doesn't-
mile away.
No, he got some color this year because he
Oh,
got outside.
that's
and got
true.
got a little tan.
Wow,
A
yeah.
little tan there.
Well, the beacon will show back up again, I'm sure.
Okay, let's quit harassing the producer, or he's going to
Fine.
start doing weird stuff back there.
Fine.
You are, I guess I'm very safe to say you're a wee bit country flavored,
A little bit, yeah.
a little bit.
A little bit country.
So is that what you call it? Are you really headed in the country
I
direction?
would say,
or-
yeah, I would say neo-traditional country. I'm definitely inspired by the guys and gals of the late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
That's definitely when the movement came around, where you had folks like Randy Travis, the Judds, George Strait, and
So not necessarily new country.
right. Neo-traditional,
God.
yeah. Oh God, no.
No,
I wouldn't do that to myself.
Well,
or
I
you.
consider new country to be old rock and roll.
Yeah.
Really, and
That's very
but-
true, because you've got very patterned verses, chorus, verses, guitar solo,
Yes,
and then
throw one in, and it's always you got banjos and mandolins and all of this until the guitar solo,
Yeah.
and then you've got some guy playing through a PV and a fuzz pedal.
Yeah.
yeah, and so and it's yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. You choking on your words is about what I do when it comes to country radio.
I'm trying really hard not to be politically incorrect here.
No, yeah, I just the
I don't know,
easiest-
Mr. Producer. Can we trash modern country music?
Yeah,
we
All
can.
right, sweet.
Very
Well,
cool.
Here's the way I do it. I just don't listen to it. It's
Same
real,
here.
Real
Same
easy. I don't have an opinion on it, so I don't listen to it.
Well, I actually did listen to enough of it to go, ooh.
It doesn't
And-
take
and
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I went back to Harry Parch and his 47-note octave,
There you go. Yeah. Or
which
yeah.
nobody listens to anymore. So
No, yeah, neo-traditional country is definitely the way I lean. I would
Right.
say biggest influence is definitely the Judds.
Yeah.
In terms of class, grace, style, showmanship, humility, everything, that's where I get
humility.
all of that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Still working on that one.
Yeah, well, me, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's a day-to-day process. But
Good. I'm glad.
I mean, if you read just anything about them, I've been reading Naomi Judd's autobiography, Love Can Build a Bridge.
Yes.
I'm right to the point where they're in California and they're getting ready to move back to Kentucky for the second time, I think. And it's amazing how they came through so many hardships, but at the same time had the ultimate goal of wanting to sing this music that was in their heart, in their
Right.
soul, you know. And Winona started out, she was not a fan of school, and so she went on the road with her mom when she was like 15, 16 years old.
Yes,
because,
true.
And I remember reading that Naomi is getting a lot of flack for that just because, well, she should be in school. Well, she doesn't want to be in school, and this is what she's good at.
Exactly.
So it's hard to stay in that lane, especially if you hear so much criticism around you.
Right.
And that's true for any musician, really.
True.
You have to really want to stay in that lane to keep going.
You have to be, you have to be dedicated, and it always helps to know what you want. And
Right.
and we've got a lot of youngins that we're involved with, especially at LSA and through Denton Radio and listening and watching. And, they're so anxious and ready to jump both feet into something, which is fine.
Sure.
But be prepared to bounce.
Oh,
because
gosh.
that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
And that's just, it's not, it used to be called paying the dues, but the thing is,
10,000 hours.
after doing this for, 200 years, it's not so much paying dues, and it's just part of life.
Yeah.
A musical life, and you are doing something different than what is the mainstream, and therefore you are going to run across every kind of situation.
You're
going to
grade up against just about everybody possible.
And you're going to meet people that are great, that know exactly what they're doing and are very, very good at it. And you're going to meet people that would just send your head into a tailspin. Okay, that does work. Because, their head will be up their fanny, and basically you're just trying to deal with it. And the fact, you go through that type of situation, and it'd be great
daily
if you're here in Denton, but if you're 600 miles away from home and you're dealing with that, then, you learn how to adjust.
That's true.
You learn how to adjust.
I think I learned how to adjust here in the DFW area, and that prepared me for going on the road. Because we play, I played in Kansas City and Nashville and Knoxville. We played in South Georgia. We played in Birmingham and Fayetteville. And every place was a little bit different.
Right.
But everyone seemed everyone seemed to have a general idea of what they were doing, which was, pretty good for venues that were dive bars or just bars off the main strip in Nashville.
I love dives.
I know.
I do.
That's how we met.
It is. It's exactly how we met. And I like classy dives too.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to you have to know starting out what you really want to do.
Yes.
Do you want to win awards? Do you want to be seen at this level of the industry? Do you want to write songs? What do you want to do?
That is a subject that actually has been talked about a couple times on this show. Carrick, my son, and I, who's the bass player for Diesel Beast, we've had this discussion forever, and it's basically, do you want to be a rock star or do you want to be a musician?
Yeah.
Because a rock star can do all of that, and I've said it a million times, you can do all of that, you could be famous, and then you can't get arrested in 6 months because you have not been able to do again what you put you on the top of the charts. Whereas a musician, you play all your life.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. If there is a race that you're trying to win.
Exactly. And when you die, that's how good you're going to be.
Yeah, that's very true. It's very true.
I have met guys that nobody knew that were just incredible, brilliant musicians, and they played all the time. They didn't play for 1,000 people. They didn't play for 1,000,000 people, but they played for $500.
Yeah.
But
that's what made them happy.
Yeah,
that's what paid their rent. We meet a lot of people along the way, I think, that really love what they do, aren't looking for the attention, and sometimes it just happens to find them. Now, sometimes when the attention finds them, they might be just okay with saying, "Hey, I'm good with what I had before."
Okay, to be honest to our public and to be fair, I've met very few musicians who feel exactly that way.
Well,
because you have to have the ego.
It's true.
You've got to have the ego, especially to be a performer.
True, but I think a lot of being a performer is swallowing your pride and learning.
Yeah, because
it really
you
is.
have those.
Yeah.
Just, wow, that reeked. I can't believe I just did that in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, you have to know. You have to take constructive criticism from each gig that you have, and build on it.
Yeah.
I've take something from almost every gig.
What's been a great train wreck for Melissa Ratley? I can tell you mine.
Oh gosh. It's been a good train wreck.
Good train wreck. One that you woke up the next day and went, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that.
I probably don't remember them, probably for a good reason. I honestly, I've had good gigs, I've had bad gigs, I've had good nights, and I've had bad nights. Everybody has them.
You have them.
So it's part of the process.
My favorite, the one that sticks out mostly in my head, is that we were playing up at Andy's. And it was late. It was real late. Been up there for a long time and possibly had one or two extra whiskeys that we shouldn't have had.
Where you're going.
We were jamming. We were going. We were blowing and going. And I
Yeah.
walked up to the microphone and I said, "Hello, Abbey Underground." and I got this rather sharp elbow right in the middle of my ribs from a trombone player, and she said, "Idiot, we're at Andy's." I went,
"Hello, Brooklyn."
"Okay, hello." And then I started rattling off just a bunch of different club names. But yeah, that one right there, I wanted to take that few seconds back because the crowd just started laughing. The crowd was like, "Ha ha ha, you screwed up, dude." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not supposed to do that." But yeah, that was one of my moments.
Yeah.
And just like, oh,
well,
shouldn't have done that.
It wasn't necessarily a cringe moment, but it was a moment where I felt like I definitely had control to do what I wanted to do. At the Kessler, actually, this last time I played, I opened for Gary P. Nunn, and
very nice.
It went really well until the last song where I started. And apparently all my jokes were gold, even though I told them 1,700 times. But it worked for that audience because they weren't quite, sauced quite yet. But but
I find saucing helps.
They were in the buzzed level right before Gary got on. But I was starting to sing the first verse of a song I have called "Can't Start Again," and all of a sudden I felt like I was about to throw up some barbecue.
Oh, no.
So I just started singing, and then I just stopped. And I remember looking out in the crowd, and I was like, wait, we're going to start over. And everyone loved it. I was just like,
I'm going to barf.
Yeah. I didn't say why. I was just like, hang on, we're going to start over. Even though the irony is that the song is called Can't Start Again.
Yeah.
And it's the last song.
Oh, my gosh.
So it wasn't that embarrassing. It was just like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have barbecue 30 minutes before I play a gig.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm sure I have some moments that I just don't remember. But
I cannot eat before I do. Before I play, I have to eat after.
Yeah.
I'm just too nervous. Just got game day on.
I got to
and all
do
of that.
about an hour before.
Yeah.
About an hour is good. That way everything digests, gets in the system.
Yeah.
The burps come out about 15 minutes before. Yeah.
Although you get a big enough PA and a burp is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's true. That's one thing I've learned as a musician is control your burps.
Yeah,
Just
that's true.
get away from the mic and then go.
Either that or if you learn how to do them in tune, you
Yeah.
burp the, Star Spangled Banner or
Yeah.
something like that.
I feel like Carrot could do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's a few people around town that have that particular talent.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
not really one of them. But yeah, everyone has moments, but I don't know if that was embarrassing or not.
Well,
but it kind of sucked.
I seem to remember about 1,000 years ago that you were recording an album.
That was 1,000 years ago almost.
Yeah,
now.
it was. And I was actually on it.
Yes.
Yes, I was actually on that album.
That's right.
How many have you done since then, or have you done?
That was considered my EP.
Right,
you gotta
that's
have
what
one.
it was, an EP.
Yeah,
yes.
you gotta have one that's self-titled. So I knocked out the self-titled out of the way as the first one.
I'm waiting to do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm going to do that one right before I die. It's just Bone Doggie, and that's it.
Well,
probably have one song on it.
that way we have something to play at your eulogy on a loop.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great.
At the wake.
We made that. Gosh, that was like 2013 in my buddy Drew's apartment.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
In Plano or Richardson, one of
I
the
think it was Richardson.
Yeah.
I think it was Richardson.
Yeah, those good times back then. A couple of those songs I put on the album that I recorded a couple of years ago called A Lonely View. That was produced by some guy named Jason Rochester.
The lovely and talented Jason Rochester.
That guy.
Yeah.
The guy who kind of looks like Jesus sometimes.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened if he shaved his head.
No, he hasn't.
No.
No, he
No,
hasn't.
I wonder what would happen if he did.
Oh, if he did shave his head.
I don't know.
Well, we think he's got an odd-shaped head, so it may not work over real well. But,
yeah, I need to find that out.
Oh, brother Jason is quite busy with Denton Radio and all of us still.
Yes. He had never actually done a country album before.
Really?
When he came up
my gosh.
doing my stuff, thanks to Victor Gann.
Yep. Who's still around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi,
he is.
Victor,
What's
if you're
up?
watching. It's good to see you.
He might watch this. I'm not sure. He might find out about it tomorrow.
Victor actually pops in the door once in a blue moon and leans against the wall in there and browbeats everybody for 20 minutes.
But
smiles and then leaves.
I'd just stare at him and he'd probably just leave. So I have that effect on people, clearing the room like that sometimes. But he introduced me to Jason. I'd never really met him before.
Yeah.
But I had a very specific vision for what I wanted for this record. I really wanted just clean instrumentation. First of all, I wanted actual instrumentation.
There you go.
Which is not so much found on a lot of records anymore.
Yeah, we could have that discussion, but
God.
keep going. Yes.
Yes. I remember specifically modeling an album by Leanne Womack that had just come out at the time called The Way I'm Living.
Right.
And I had him listen to this album when we were driving back and forth from the studio, just like listen to how clean this album is. Listen to how clean everything is, from the vocal to the snare to the hi-hats. Everything.
Right.
The bass. I want it that clean.
Wow.
So I'm not a big frills person when it comes to music. I don't care for all the pedals on everything.
You really don't.
No.
Yeah, that's something I remember about you is you like it short, sweet, to the point.
Why not? To me, that's what music is. That's what people have shown to me, the people that I've looked up to for so long. I mean, you could look at Reba and the Judds and say, yes, they have a lot of showmanship and instrumentation, but at the same time, it comes down to the music.
Yes.
Period. Because it comes down to their voices, and that's the instrument that drives everything.
Yes.
So that's kind of a goal that I've focused on in the last few years, was really kind of bolstering my voice a little bit.
Very nice.
With the help of looking at that album, saying, okay, well, if I can make a clean album like this and have folks like Jerry Mowry on the drums and Milo Deering on the fiddle, steel, and mandolin.
I know. Milo plays everything.
I know.
If it's got strings.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's true. And I had my old friend Martin Baird cover the bass on the album.
Yeah.
And Bo Autry also did the guitar solos. That's right.
Bo Autry.
That guy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
That guy. But they all agreed with this vision of, well, I don't have to have a bunch of frills and thrills in my record. I just want the music to speak for itself.
Well, especially with that bunch, because the thing is, all those guys could play.
Yeah.
You know, they could actually play, so they could do it with
I
bands.
leave a lot of room in my songs, most of the time not knowing that I have so much room for solos in my music. And I think I realized that with you when I was recording. I was like, oh, well, he can do something here.
Well, that was, I think that and a lot of people don't do this, especially when they're singer-songwriters. Say we go back to that point,
right,
when you were basically working on being a singer-songwriter, and you get up to jam with them, and they say, "Oh, come and play with me," and then you wait for it, and it never comes. That little section in their song where they step by and say, "Okay, take it," you know. And so you did that. You actually started doing that. You actually started letting people take a solo during your songs.
Yeah,
and that's a step. That is a huge step forward that a lot of people don't even realize.
I didn't realize I was doing it, to be honest. I just thought, okay, this is a nice place.
It's a natural part of the song, and you're live, you know, and there's somebody playing, do it.
Yeah, take a solo.
You know,
take a walk. Let's go.
Take a walk.
Let's do it. So that's definitely a fundamental part of being a singer-songwriter, is learning your strengths and weaknesses as someone who can write music versus writing lyrics. Now, my best friend, Caroline Schmitz, who lives in Nashville, we met when we went to school at Ole Miss.
Right.
She solely writes lyrics. She goes out and sings every once in a while, but she can't really play guitars. But that's where I show up, and I just walk around a room, and I spit out ideas to her. What's funny is when we write together, I can never remember what the line was before. Every time I write. So I'm walking around and I'm singing this song, trying to figure out what chords go. I'm like, wait, what did I just write?
What did I do?
What did I just say?
Did you write that down?
Line.
This is fascinating because I've never known you to be a collaborator. How do you like it? Do you enjoy collaborating with somebody?
Well, she's the only person I collaborate with.
Well, that's fine, but still, I mean, that's one more than I ever thought you would in your entire life.
Yeah. We met by chance, actually, when we were freshmen at Ole Miss. We went to a church group together. I'd never met her before, and we were going around in a circle and introducing ourselves, and she had said, she was right before me, and she said, I want to be a songwriter for people in Nashville. I was like, oh, well, I want to be a singer-songwriter. Maybe we should hang out.
Yeah.
So a week later, we get together and hang out in the Grove, which is
the age-old discussion.
I know. We get together, and we end up writing a song called Just Like Us.
Right.
Which was, God, that was almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
But that was back in 2008. But that was when we realized, hey, we might have something here.
This is cool.
But we didn't honestly write anything new again until like 2014 because when we saw each other, it was very sporadic and honestly very sauced, so to speak. Whenever we did see each other, we wrote a song called The Outside. That was the next song we wrote together. We were both at very interesting times in our lives where we were both going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the song was
typical
just,
life.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was just hanging there, waiting for us to pull down and put on paper. So we wrote that song, and then we also have a song called Fast and Free that's probably going to be on the new album whenever that will happen.
I've noticed it, and you do that. Do you write mostly about life experience? You seem to write a lot about that.
Yeah, and it's not always my life. It could be Caroline's life. It could be someone we saw on the street, or someone we just saw people watching at a football game, or
you make up a scenario.
Oh yeah,
I know that guy right there. He
the
used
one
to be
that said it
Batman.
all. Yeah, the one that said it all is a completely made up scenario.
Right.
That came about just with me not writing anything for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then this song just came out.
Yep.
It just happened to come out, and then I didn't write again for another 2 years after that.
I was going to ask when you go through that period, because I went through that period, and I'm coming out of it in 2 or 3 different ways right now. But there was, for the longest time, it just wasn't inspired. I had written what I thought were great songs, and I'd said pretty much all I wanted to say for a while. So, you got writer's block. No, I don't have writer's block. I just, not sure where I want to go next.
Yeah.
Did you suffer through that period?
I think.
Suffer may be a strong word. But,
writer's block, I think, is different to different people.
Yeah.
I think I
write.
write.
That's an easy way to get out of that one. Well
no.
done. Yeah.
I
want to kill myself. I haven't written a song in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, that's a good way to jump out. It's true, but I think I write just a little bit. Almost at least every week, not every day. Like something will come to me. I think in high school, I had this thing where I felt like lyrics were coming to me at a rate of like every 5 minutes.
Right.
And I felt like, okay, I need to capitalize on this.
I need to write them down.
I know.
I'm gonna
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yep.
Yeah. But then I felt like over time, that rate started to slow down a lot more, or maybe increase time-wise. So I've taken, obviously, those spurts that I can at this point and ran with them as much as I can. I'm not a real big in-the-moment writer, though. I like writing after it's been processed for about 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big person like, hey, let me call somebody. Oh, hey, let's. I just had this happen. Somebody just got in a car wreck or something, and I just want to write about it right now. That's not.
Run out there, sit next to the wreck. Okay, that's a line. Okay, that's good.
That's not super.
That's kind of gross, really. So.
Yeah, it's pretty grotesque.
Kind of suspect.
But there's a lot of different ways that I think people process not writing for a while. That could be going on a trip for a long time. That could be taking a job. That could be a lot of different things. And I was working a lot within the last few years, but now I'm just doing music full time.
Right.
And it's a lot more rewarding, but at the same time, I still haven't found time to finish more than like 2 songs.
Understood.
But because you have to do a lot of the other work that you had not done in the last 2 years.
Back in the old days, you were expected while you were on tour for your first album, and that Columbia or RCA or somebody was paying for your tour,
right?
Then you were also expected to spend a great deal of time in the studio doing your next album,
right,
and writing that next hit.
Oh yeah, because you got your whole life to write your first album, and then about 18 months to write the next one.
Exactly. And that one wasn't as good. Well, you know what? I did 3 hours of sleep a night and 200 miles between gigs. You're not going to get much good,
Yeah.
And that's when corporate music. And what's really funny is I read an article. I'm in the middle of a lecture, actually, by a guy, and he's talking about modern music. We're going to get a bit ethereal here, my cats and kittens, but basically what it was is it's on YouTube, and I believe it's why modern music sounds so bad. And I saw that headline. I said, I've got to watch this. This is hysterical.
that would definitely grab
But
your
I'll tell you what, the first part of this video is very, very poignant. First of all, people are listening, especially modern. You're listening through this, and you're listening through earbuds, and you don't get the subsonic sound that used to be put into even a vinyl album.
Oh, yeah.
Or especially CDs. I mean, when CDs came out, the sound quality was just incredible. And now you've got digital sound, so you have a whole generation of people that are not being exposed to that on a regular basis. Now, having said that, in the 60s, when The Who come out, Peter Townsend made a conscious decision to record their music because they knew it was going to be played on a 45 on a little Bojack record player, and so that's why those albums sounded like they did and why that music sounded like it did. But now you've got this super produced stuff that's coming out of minute speakers, and I am testifying to this. I bought nice little set of earbuds because I tend to go through earbuds about once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because they're always in my ear.
Yeah.
And I bought a nice little set of earbuds. I will not tell you what brand they were, but oh my gosh, it is horrible.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
But I can give you some recommendations when we're done.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
But I'm cheap, and you know that.
Well,
so
these are, they're not bad. They're about $20 pop.
okay, that's good. For me, that's high end.
Yeah.
So all right.
It's good. I still have them. So.
But anyway, going back to the discussion was the guy was talking about timbre, the actual timbre of music, and what people are being exposed to now, and what you hear is really actually it's not even what's being played in the studio.
Oh yeah.
You're losing so much of it.
Yeah, on the front end for sure.
Yeah. And so that adjustment has to be made, and I don't know. Somebody's going to figure out how to do it. Somebody's going to figure out what to do. But,
well, you're seeing a lot of things come out of East Nashville these days.
Right.
They're calling it like the East Nashville sound or something like
that. I've heard this name.
Yeah, basically where you're basically putting these crappy sounds into this recording. And I remember just dirty sounds of just crackling, just out of tune instruments, but it sounds cool. And I remember this guy who writes a blog.
I use a lot of that, actually. So, yeah, it is cool.
Yeah. This guy was writing a blog about how he's going to probably in the next 20, 30, 40 years, people are going to be listening back to music from this time and wondering, why did this stuff sound so bad considering all of the modern technology that we have to clean it up?
Right.
Well, it's style, it's effect.
Style, very big word. Which is cyclical.
Oh, very.
About once every 20 years, it just pops right back.
Oh, yeah.
And, dude, now we're being vintage and retro.
Yeah, that's any kind of music is cyclical. I can give you the whole history of country music and how that's very cyclical.
That's why there are 6 Free Willy movies.
Yeah.
You'd figure after the second movie, Willie'd get a clue, but no.
So, it kept coming back.
It kept coming back, and bad music keeps coming back. When disco showed back up again, I was really depressed.
Yeah, and I feel like with country music, I think it's coming out of this stretched out phase, I suppose, of girls and trucks and bikinis and beer and blah, blah, blah. I think it's coming out of that phase of songwriting where just about anybody with a good-looking head of hair is being stuck with these songs so they can just pump them out.
Right, and that's the thing is whole rooms of people that just do nothing but write songs,
yeah.
or the machines that do nothing but write songs.
Yeah,
and that was another thing this guy pulled up. You kind of touched on it a little while ago. Was basically that you had real instruments, whereas now no,
you don't have to.
It's the machine. It's the computer.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely all about real instruments. I've told Jason when I recorded, you will never find me not having a real instrument on any of my albums ever. I'm not interested in that.
That is so funny because I never really was one big for electronics until I went out and got a loop pedal. And now, but the thing is, I'm using the loop pedal for such organic stuff. I beat on pots and pans.
Yeah.
And hubcaps and anything that'll make noise. But at the same time, it's still not synthesized. I still don't have a synthesizer, and
Yeah.
I probably will never have one.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm cheap, unless I can find something I can do with a voice, because I like messing with voices
Yeah,
right now.
I'm a fan of that. I think in moderation, it's
Yeah.
good. Not like every 5 songs you should do it.
Well, isn't there one or two people out there in pop music right now that do nothing but the voice correcting? Yeah.
Yeah, and even Miranda Lambert has a couple tracks within the last few albums that she's had. Going back to For the Record, she had a song called Fine Tune where she and that was her whole voice the whole time. And I think she had a one on her latest double album that reminded me of that too.
Yeah.
But it's cool every once in a while, but as long as it's not overused.
Yeah.
A lot of people either overuse it or don't use it in the right context.
They have a new toy, and blah, I'm going to do this whole album. It's going to be cool, man. Nobody's ever done it before. They did it last week.
Bring it back, bring it back to the real instruments. That's what it's always going to be for me, because that's what it was for the people that I looked up to. You know, they always walked into an instrumental room, and then a band recording behind them.
So when you do recordings, and you're finally going at it, and you're using the real instruments and everything out, do you strive to get that perfect thing, or do you allow the little nuances to happen and stay and survive?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where writing subconscious solos come in.
Right.
That's where I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
It just so happened that in Just Like Us, we were going over the recordings, and there was a gap where there wasn't a solo. There just was. It was just
the rhythm.
It was just the rhythm. And so Jason sent me the song, and it was like, hey, here's this song. I hope you like it. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, what is that? He recorded a guitar solo, and I thought it was Victor, to be honest with you.
Right.
But it was just this ripping guitar solo that was really cool, but it really worked, and it led right back into the mandolin solo right after.
Victor. It probably was Victor.
He's probably just not taking credit for it. Yeah, that's
do that.
literally what I thought. He's like, no, this took me like 5 minutes, and you had the room for it, so I was going to do it.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, cool.
But you allowed him to put it in there and throw it in there.
Sure, absolutely,
and stuff like that.
And so Nick's been trying to copy that ever since.
Yeah.
So just and every time Jason I know is in the perimeter of one of our gigs, I'm like, don't you mess up that solo.
There you go.
It's coming.
No pressure.
He wants to hear it. So
that's hysterical.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's my recording band, and I'd say recording band just because that's what I had at the time. I didn't have an actual band. I just had a couple of guys that I knew that were willing to put down some tracks on a country record.
Yeah.
But that then evolved into another band.
You do have a band now.
I do. I have Nick Woods and Jake McCandless. I do have a rotating cast of characters for drummers, but don't we all?
Yes. Yes.
Latest I've had is Matt Van Heel. He went out on tour with us. He plays with Troy Cartwright and J.R. Bird. It's actually how I met him.
Is Bird still alive?
He's still here.
Bird, you still out there? You should holler at us. We haven't seen you for ages.
I texted him on Saturday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, tell him give me a holler. I like Bird.
He's a good man. He recorded the background vocals on a song I have called Say You'll Stay.
He has a lovely voice.
He does.
He really does.
And he was really worried that it was sounding really twangy when he was recording it. I was like, it sounds just fine. Because I really love,
it was twangy.
Liam,
it was twangy. I know.
Maybe mine was because it was bouncing off of it.
No,
but
Bird could do twangy. I've watched him.
He can do anything.
Yeah.
The man is incredible, an incredible musician.
He can do twangy, Bird.
I was also, again, just basing off that Leanne Womack record. I love Frank Liddell's voice with Leanne Womack.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. And so I wanted that counterbalance of a voice singing with mine, and it worked really well.
Imagine.
And I know
cool.
there was some guy in England who just tweeted at me because he played the song. He played the song, and JR, I guess, was a guest on his show or something from across the continent.
Right.
And he asked, well, why JR Bird? I was like, well, because I've always liked his voice with mine. It's just that simple. Sometimes
it's lovely to find somebody like that that you are compatible with.
It doesn't have to be in the same genre. It doesn't have to be the same style of music. But
doesn't have to be in the same room.
It's true.
Yeah.
But there was a booth between us when he did it. But he's an incredible guy, and
he really is. Yeah. He's good.
Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to recording and stuff like that, I want real instrumentation because the music to me is real.
Yeah.
I want that to be reflected in what I'm doing.
Yep.
And I want there to be enough room for anybody who's listening to take whatever they want out of it. I don't want to just say my song is only about this.
Like the one time that I experimented, and I'm using that term loosely, with the perfect recording. We went in, okay, we're going to start the song, and the Hellraisers don't do this. They didn't do this, okay? We went in, and the guy said, okay, start the song. We started the song. He stopped us. Start the song, stopped us. And he was getting his levels, and he took like 2.5 hours. Well, by the time we were done trying to get levels, I couldn't sing anymore.
Yeah, I bet.
That was the worst recording. We were there for 12 hours. I spent $250, and that recording never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
6 months later, we walked into his studio. We laid 2 tracks down for everything live, and then beat one of them into shape.
Yeah.
And I've always been, I will probably always record like that. I'm recording an album now, starting to, and it's going to be a little bit different because I'm actually paying attention to the studio for the first time ever.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that can sidetrack you from it.
There are.
It's just the ambiance of it, just detailing every single song. I think if you're, as a singer-songwriter, you have to really know what your lane is when you walk into a studio.
Yeah.
And then that's not to say you don't have control over everything. Not at all.
No.
You have control over everything. But
sometimes that can be overwhelming.
that's true.
Yeah.
And so you...
That's why God made producers.
yeah, well... There's differences.
He's still got the buttons. Don't say anything.
I know. It's early. It's still early. But and that's why people like Jason are great. He is willing to listen to what you have to say and how you want things to be done.
Yes.
Now, obviously, he's willing to help coach and put people in places where you don't know if they're going to fit or not.
Right.
But Jason was very receptive to everything I wanted to do.
Good.
Because, he had an experience with a country album before, but he grew up listening to the stuff that I listened to. The stuff by the late or the early 90s stuff. The stuff that broke into Nashville when even Nashville was bigger than MTV.
Yep.
So.
And that's something, and kind of what you're explaining is the producer doesn't come or become bigger than the project.
That's right. Yeah, and
that is a lesson to the wise by Cats and Kittens. The producer should never be bigger than the project.
Yeah.
Because when it does, then it becomes the producer stuff, and that's when it gets ruined.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's important.
It becomes like everybody else's.
Yeah, it's important to stay in your lane, but at the same time, know that you have control.
Yes.
Over just about everything that's happening. So, from learning all of that from the first album, I know going into the second album, I'll have the same kind of vision.
Right.
I'll have the same kind of perspective. I'll know what I want when I go into it, and all of that took time. That didn't happen overnight. With a lot of kids out there that want everything right now. I was the same way when I was 19.
Yeah.
But everyone is.
You can have that. But then you learn that if I get everything that I want right now, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're going to have a train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
And I might die. So let's take this a little bit of time here. Be a little patient.
Yeah. Go to the open mics, meet the people, find the band, fire the band, find another band. It's
have horrible and bloody breakups and put together something else and go on about your business.
The beauty of music.
It is.
It's the circle of music life.
That's your journey.
That's true.
Well, speaking of journeys, my dove, I know that you promised me that you were going to play tonight.
I did. Yeah.
And I'm holding you to that promise. In fact, you got that Git box over there. So you brought your guitar.
Yes.
Which that's a different guitar, isn't it, from the last one I saw?
This one is.
Yes.
It's a Martin.
Yes.
The old one I had, the black one, was basically like a 2x4.
Yeah.
That's what it was like, playing with some strings on it. It got to that way. I didn't really take care of it that much. It wasn't the best constructed
you still
guitar.
Have it?
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere. You should hang that thing on a wall, girl.
Well,
seriously,
hopefully
I think it earned a place. It earned a place on the wall.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe in a Country Music Hall of Fame.
I still have
perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Winona's Epiphone is in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Really?
And it's got the mother of pearl Y in the middle of it. It's a black guitar.
Nice.
It's awesome. I love it. So, I mean, if anything, I can aspire to something like that.
I still have the bouzouki.
Yeah?
I still have the bouzouki.
I didn't see you ever getting rid of that. That's like attached to you permanently in my mind.
Yeah, it's a part of the body. It's actually sitting on my kitchen table right now. But anyway, it's still there. It's still there. And you just, something like that you spend so much time, blood, sweat, and tears on, you got to keep it and take care of it.
Oh, yeah. It's, I'll probably always keep it somewhere, but am I going to play it again? I have no idea.
I would hope so, because that has brought you a long way.
It has.
Some great things on that
And
guitar.
actually, when I bought this guitar, my mom was like, well, why didn't you buy a black guitar? I'm like, I didn't even ask for a black guitar in the first place. I just kind of got one for Christmas when I was 18. I wanted a case.
Yes.
I ended up getting a guitar, which was really weird. I was like,
it's a great case, but there's a guitar in it.
Cool.
What am I going to do with this?
That's not cool. Okay, cool.
Okay,
but
cool.
no, when I read up on guitars and stuff that I wanted, Martins were at the top of the list.
Right.
To be honest, and it's got its own sweat marks on it now, and
yeah,
a lot of
little fingers.
a lot of marks on it. It's got a lot of character. It's been through a lot. So.
Well, we're going to put it through some more here in just a couple minutes. Let's see. We got Marianne Blakely. Pyron, is that it? She says she loves you.
Old Blake.
Blake's
Blake? Shack, yeah.
Hi, baby. And first song, Vince Luann.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's from Jake. What we're going to do, my cats and kittens, is we're going to take a wee bit of a break and get Miss Ratley here set up. And while we're doing that, we're going to entertain you with some video.
Yeah.
Like we usually do. We
Yeah.
usually do this, and that gives us a chance to reset the room, and get it all ready for the music portion of the show. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take a few minutes, and the first song we're going to show you is from Vince Luann. How's that? Am I covered? Okay, we're covered on that one. You are tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. And we're also broadcasting live on Facebook, and we're going to be eventually on YouTube, and we're probably showed up on several others that I never remember.
No.
But we are at the Mighty Vic, and we are being a little bit sponsored here, with Classic Chevrolet and what other Honda and just about every kind of automobile you can imagine at that place.
Cool.
So they're kind of our sponsors. They keep our doors open, and right now we're going to do our best to blow the doors off.
Yeah.
How'd that work? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, my cats and kittens, you stay around. Do not leave the neighborhood. We will be back in just a few minutes with the lovely and talented Melissa Ratley. Push the button.
Farewell, all the stories that you tell. How I love to hear you say how you left your home and all you've known, and that girl that got away. How you wished you would have stayed. Well, the many miles, many trials you've faced, but still you came on. Across the desert, in the sand, wanting water in your hand. You had wanted to die. But well, the stars were your disguise, and they seem to have left their imprint in your eyes. No one will know all that you had done, but I can write you this song for my all the hell when you sat in your tiny little cell, yet you still wish no one any wrong. They almost stole your soul every time you'd go and try and seek that better life. Why so much strife? No one will know all that you have done, so I had to write you this song for Manuel. Mexico seems so long ago in San Luis Potosí. ask me how come I've had to come so far just not to be free. Says why can't they see? Oh, no matter where the stars for your disguise, they seem to have left their imprint in your eyes. No one will know all that you have done. So I sat down and wrote you this song. I want the world to sing this song from my well.
Honey, reach for me in the middle of the night when we are all alone. There ain't nobody to stop us now, so come on, let me warm your bones. Oh, honey, reach for me when we are all alone in the middle of the night. 'Cause I know that we both been hurt so long, but we can make it right. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, I wanna give to you all that I've shown when we are all alone. Here's your invitation, I'm giving you the green light. Reach for me in the middle of the night. How you reach for me in the middle of the night when we are all alone.
And we are back by Cats and Kittens for the musical portion of the Bone Doggie Extravaganzoid. How about that? That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
looks like
okay.
it.
And if you'll notice, the seating accoutrement has been moved around to accommodate the lovely and talented Melissa Ratley. So, without further ado,
Hang on, I gotta straighten out the sticker here. There we go.
it's a
All right.
removable sticker. Okay.
Yes.
That's weird. What is the sticker from?
It's Evia Music. That's the label that I'm on, based out of
Oh,
Sanger.
okay. Is that a chicken?
That is, it's more like an eagle or
It
something.
looks like a chicken.
I don't know.
Chicken music. Okay, all right. So there we go.
Nothing wrong with chicken picking.
Well, if any of the people that you work for are watching, and
Yeah.
I apologize greatly, I didn't know. It looks like a chicken from here, but I'm upside down, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and it's my radio show. So here we go. Live and unfeathered.
Yeah.
See what I did there? See what I did there?
That's
That
good.
was awesome.
Well done,
That was
sir.
awesome. Okay. So without further ado, the lovely and talented Melissa Ratley. It's all you, baby.
All right, I guess I'll start out with a newer one. It's called Taken. Sunrise, sunset, I have something to confess. My heart has felt a feeling that it's truly never felt. And it starts with your skin, so soft in my hands, from a night that I can't forget, because now I understand it takes more than simple things to make a heart begin to see. You're beautiful, mind, and the words you say, they get my attention, and I can't shake it. When you hold me close, you let me know that I ain't taken. Now I feel so alive, all because you started a fire, and all it took was a simple smile, and the embers blazed all night. Well, the hardest part was my disbelief, but I gave in 'cause you helped me believe that you're more than just a simple fling. You're beautiful, mind, and the words you say, they get my attention, and I can't shake it. When you hold me close, you let me know that I am taken. Sunrise to sunset, I have something to confess. My heart no longer feels the need to look for something else. 'Cause you're beautiful, mind, and the words you say, they get my attention, and I can't shake it. When you hold me close, you let me know that I am taken. Alright, let's see. We'll do a song that I talked about with Doggie. I wrote with my buddy Caroline. It's called Fast and Free. Wanna drive away and never look back. Forget the memory of the past. Forget this town and what it's put me through. I wanna settle somewhere with more to give. It's not as easy to forget. This old town will forget me once I'm gone for good. No more reasons to hide. I've grown up enough to know how to live my high life. 'Cause I've got dreams that I can see, that I have to follow fast and free, far away from everything I've known. Time to place old with new, leaving here is overdue. And every day I hang around, I thought what I need. promised long ago to myself I'd move on to somewhere else. But once I had the means to leave it all behind, turn around and walk away, never stop for anything. If I don't leave, I can't say that I tried. And if I start to worry, I'll realize that I've got dreams that I can see, that I have to follow fast and free, far away from everything I've known. Time to place old with new, leaving he's overdue. Every day I hang around, I'm far from what I need. I'm fast and free. When I think about years gone by, I know I'll close my eyes and smile. 'Cause where I am is where I wanted to be. Now I'm thankful every time I sing, 'cause I've got dreams that I can see, that I had to follow fast and free, far away from everything I've known. Finally replaced old with new, I have my pride and nothing to lose. 'Cause every day I hang around, I've got everything I need. I'm fast and free. Fast and free. Oh, 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 oh. Thank you, Bone Doggie. And thanks, Jake. You're a nice guy. Real nice guy. You keep that up. Let's see here. Bone Doggie is going all metal on me now. All right, let's do. So many options. Something way back. Are we talking like not my song or my song? My song, way back. Oh man. Well, let's just do, I think, the one song that this radio station plays. I'm not sure. They could play more. Probably say worse things about me. I really don't know. But either way, it's called Say You'll Stay. You can say you don't want it, you can say you don't need it. I know it's not what it seems. You can hide from your demons or try to believe them. I bet they'll make you feel complete. You can try to sympathize or let them all go. But there's one thing I gotta hear before you lose control. Say you'll stay. I'll never leave if you feel the same. Oh, make me want you. Now know if you say you'll stay. I know you want to believe your past is a reason you can't hang on for too long. But I know that you'll find I'm the one thing you like to think about when the day is done. Oh, try to sympathize or let it all go. There's one thing I gotta hear before you lose control. Say you'll stay. I'll never leave if you feel the same. Oh, make me want you. Now no. Oh, if you say you'll stay. If you say you'll stay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. It's really nice people. It's a nice show you got here. It's a nice setup you got here. All right. Let's see. Let's do one more song. Close it out. And hopefully I won't choke on my words like I said I would. And the last time I did this in a very public audience, well, I've sung it many times since then, but I haven't had barbecue today, so we'll start with that. It's called Can't Start Again. Memories of yesterday haunt me like never before. Times I should have run away, coming back like rain in a downpour. Getting over what's been done ain't that easy for me to lose sight of. I wish I had a chance for another moment that didn't come undone. 'Cause all I have is what you left. Parts of me that don't make sense, and I just can't start all over again. Pieces are written all over the walls, staring me down like eyes that cross. The more I feel them, the less I want to care at all. 'Cause all I have is what you left. Parts of me that don't make sense, and I just can't start all over again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You think it's easier with time? Can you make it so I realize that I can't go back to what I had, no matter how hard I try? 'Cause all I have is what you left. Parts of me that don't make sense, and I just can't start all over again. All I have is what you say, words and feelings I can't forget, and I just can't start all over again. We did it. I think there's someone coming back in here. Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey, you.
Hey, long time no see.
I know. Okay. I'm just going to move this.
Come on over.
I'm going to come on over there and sit next to you.
All right.
Oop, I can't do that. All right.
There you go.
Turn your back to the camera. That was awesome.
Well, thank you.
Sorry. Okay. Well done.
Thank you,
you
sir.
so much. It's been a while since I've got to hear you sing and play.
It's been a minute.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. And that was great. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for doing that.
Well, you know, I owe a lot to you for helping me get a lot of confidence in this music thing. I do. I really do. And without your guidance, I really don't think I'd be half the musician I am.
Wow.
That's very, very true.
You hear
So,
that?
I don't know about Jake, but it's debatable some days.
I wouldn't be where I am today if Jake wasn't there.
Yeah. You
And
know,
that makes actually a lot of sense if you think about it. It's true. I wouldn't be here if Jake wasn't there.
Yeah,
So
that's very true. But thank you, honestly, for what you've done for me and so many other musicians around town. It really does mean a lot that you've helped us and guided us and steered us in whatever direction we're supposed to be in. So that really does mean a lot to us.
That's very kind, and I appreciate it. There's mutual love fest going on here. This is a sappy part of the show.
It is. It's really only staying on this side of the
right?
perimeter here. It's not spreading over to where the board is. So much.
That's not true. That's not true.
All right. Well,
All right,
he put this together, so I guess I have to.
I know, and he pushes buttons really
Yeah.
well. He pushes buttons, which he's always done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's very true.
Well, what we're going to do, my love, is we are going to finish out this mess, and you have to do a bump.
Okay.
And basically what you have to say is let's see, what do you have to, this is Melissa Ratley.
Okay.
And you are tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
All right.
Okay.
Is there like a 3, 2, 1?
But did we not do a radio show about 1,000 years ago? Do you remember that over at the house?
Maybe.
Okay,
Could have been around the time we were doing that Loretta Lynn tribute.
Yes.
I feel like that was in the same.
Well, this is the same thing. You did it then. You're going to do it now.
All right.
So you do it again. So again, this is Melissa Ratley. You're tuned into Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
All right.
So at your leisure, don't screw it up. No pressure.
This is Melissa Ratley, and you are tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I knew that you could.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. We would love to thank Miss Melissa Ratley for coming and entertaining and doing all this stuff tonight on the show. We would also like to thank producer extraordinaire Jake Laughlin for making this happen. We would like to thank you guys for watching, tuning in, and remind you that we will be here 2 weeks from now.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks from now, and we will have Dominic Shipp, who wrote a children's book.
Okay.
And we're going to do that. And then I believe the lovely and talented Lydia Lowe is going to be our musical guest.
You like depressing songs? She's it.
She's good at it.
Oh,
She's good
man.
at it. But she could write some just
I know.
heart stuff.
It kind of interests me. She's not into country music as much as she appears to be.
She's a rocker.
She
baby.
fits right in.
She's a rocker.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what we got planned, and that I believe that show will be on the 11th.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm not terribly into actual time, but we'll get as close as possible.
Yeah.
All right. So until then, thank you, my cats and kittens. We'd like to thank again producer extraordinaire. Tune in to DentonRadio.com all the time. Tune in to Facebook. We're everywhere. So until next show, good night. Push the button, Max.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.